Hello, welcome back once more. I'm Gavin, and I'm here to talk things at your ear holes. Listen, man, it's really late, and I didn't film a transition here, so let's just say I did put one. It was really funny. There was a there was a Shakespeare joke in there somewhere, and I'll get you back later. Cool? It's no secret that I am a outspoken member of many different internet subcultures. Good mythical morning, nerd fighters. I recently joined another subculture out of, well, want to not die. I have started working out. Yes, this this hops up on a treadmill and elliptical machine and lifts weights and all that. So today was the first time I worked out in a long time, and it was pretty good except for a couple of problems. One being that I was a little bit self-conscious. Now here's the funny thing. When I started working out, I was really self-conscious because I would end up walking around campus in workout clothes, going from the gym to my car. And that's just out of pure laziness. I could have changed back into my street clothes, but it's about 20 yards outside of the building to my car. So I got over that pretty quick. And then I had to get over the fact that I'm a fat ass working around a bunch of skinny nurses who are pretty much toning at this point. And there's a point where you gotta admit to yourself, you know what, you're here to lose weight, they're not, so just get over it. But today, my self consciousness wasn't about people seeing me work out. It was about people seeing me work out in these. I forgot my shoes. Now, let's just point out something here. These shoes are wonderfully comfortable. They're my favorite pair of shoes right now. But, as you've already seen, they have huge soles on them. Yeah, freaking huge. And because of that, I wasn't able to work out to the extent that I wanted to, because who the hell is crazy enough to go on a treadmill in this? But I did get some elliptical done, and biking, and the Bowflex, whatever, I forget what you call that exercise. The problem is, my visit today was with someone else, and the someone else was a guy who's a bit fitter than me, doing squat thrusts about this far from my face, and I'm sitting on a bike, so his crotch is like right here. And then he started using medicine balls. There's nothing wrong with using those, they're actually really good tools for exercising. Problem is, whenever he uses them, he grunts. And when he grunts, it sounds like two things. He's constipated, or he's getting it on with that medicine ball. Not really fun to work out next to someone making sex noises, no matter how good they look. So that's my day so far. I have a pretty big test coming up tomorrow, and I am doing a lot of volunteer work this week, so my schedule's pretty packed. While I'm at it, I thought I'd mention what I'm reading. I'm still reading The Engines of God by Jack McDevitt. I'm about 45% through the book right now, and I still enjoy it. The big climax that I was waiting for happened 40% through the book, and a character died. And this is going to sound like me being a smartass to the book, and it 95% isn't, but this character dying was actually kind of refreshing. When this character died, it was as a means to an end for the plot, and you could kind of tell he was going to die from about 20 pages back. That being said, it probably was the intention of the author for this death to be a sad thing, because it really does affect the main character a lot. She is deeply saddened by this, but I as a reader do not care because the character died because he was being stupid. I guess I could say I've been a little bit spoiled recently, because in things like Game of Thrones and John Green's books, pretty much all of them, when something bad happens, you have a deep emotional connection to it because you're emotionally connected to that character. I rarely read books that have so many characters going on in them and get so little screen time that you really don't get an attraction to them or any sense of connection going on there. And I know this might sound like me just ripping into the book, but that's honestly not what I mean. I mean it as in, I haven't seen a character die and it not be the biggest thing in the world that character die, and it's quite refreshing that sometimes things happen and people mess up and you just have to get over it and move on. I look forward to reading a certain book that will destroy me in every emotional sense, according to Tumblr, but I I just wanted to point out one death scene so far in The Engines of God is quite interesting. And I highly recommend the book for anyone who loves sci-fi, just because there's so much fun sci-fi gadgetry and just morality being thrown around. So when I'm at college and not studying, volunteering, working out, or making random movie references that nobody will get, I'm looking for a man named Komoko. I try to finish books that I've started already. As you know, I'm currently working on The Engines of God, as I mentioned earlier. Another book I'm working on finishing, which will take a long time, is The Complete Works of Sherlock Holmes. This baby's that thick and has about Bible-sized print. Honestly, this is one of the books where I thought I wouldn't like it because the language is so outdated and the turn of phrases aren't really for me. But Arthur Conan Doyle's writing style really stood the test of time quite well. I'm 3 novellas into it so far, and it's one of those. This is one of those books you keep by your bed to read a short piece before bed. It honestly fulfills that weird little niche of reading that we all need sometimes. Another book I can recommend is The Fighting 69. I picked this one up from a 99-cent store because apparently the distributor had so many extra copies they just shipped them off to die there. This book is about the 1st National Guard unit who was on scene during 9/11 and set up the first command post. They were then shipped to Baghdad several months later to participate in Operation Iraqi Freedom. It is a true underdog story as they were completely underfunded and using equipment that was from Vietnam that broke down every 5 seconds. So much so that when they sent a train full of their equipment down to Florida to be shipped over to Baghdad, they sent the train back with all of the equipment still loaded onto it. This is one of those stories where it's written so well that sometimes you forget it's a true piece and you get pulled into it more than a fiction. That being said, let me broadcast one book I've read all the way through, and I've read through twice. If I can find it. If you love war movies, if you love just military stuff in general, if you love history, please check this book out. Blind Man's Bluff, The Untold Story of American Submarine Espionage. This is essentially the story of submarine espionage. Everything worth mentioning, every cool story, every little incident we had, every operation worth talking about is condensed into this little book from the beginning of submarine warfare up till Clinton's presidency. This is honestly one of the more fun things I've read in a long time. You get to learn about Project Azori, and you learn about spy missions that we ran against Soviet Russia. You learn about the couple of times we physically bumped into Soviet submarines on patrol. We had this is perfect for anyone interested in the Cold War as well, because it just oozes Cold War paranoia and spy espionage stuff, including a specially built submarine that went to Russia, planted a spy tap on a cable, and left without ever being seen. 2 people almost died. The amount of technology and coolness in this book just made it's essentially like reading. Imagine Iron Man with submarines and a little bit more believable, and you got. I made a thing for art. Thought you might want to know. It's about a year late, but there it is. Thing. Friend of mine, who I pestered into making a YouTube channel, has made a YouTube channel. He has 2 videos so far, and if you ever wondered what I look like without a beard, here's a very brief shot of me from earlier this year. Hi! Yeah. So, the only reason I'm bringing this up because I would like to suggest you go over and check out his videos. He has 2 of them so far, and they're actually funny, unlike mine. And the fact that he has a YouTube channel might mean that there could be some crossplay between me and some friends in future, as I am pretty addicted to this vlogging thing, and all they hear me talking about is vlogging and editing. So hopefully I can pester them into doing some fun things in the future. Links to the books I mentioned in this video in the description below. Thank you for watching. I hope you come out for the next video. Go check out some of my friends mentioned in the closing graphic. And as always, the music is brought to you by friends of mine who created them on SoundCloud. Thank you so much for giving me a decent soundtrack, guys. And that's the whole story. Thank you for watching. See you next time.